In this lecture, I'm going to go into a product that is already selling and I have almost an identical copy of it. This item itself, right here that you can see, I have one that's not wooden but is actually black bracelet. Now, the way I'm going to go about this is to try to add more value to my product and to sell it at a higher price. This item itself is selling right now for $3 plus $5 shipping. This is very low amount of price that they're getting for this item itself. They're just trying to make a sale. They're not making much on it. That's definitely not the way to go about and make business, is to sell items at the lowest possible price. So there's two ways that I can go about this. One way is to sell it in a different kind of platform such as Amazon FBA and see if I can get a higher price commanding for this item. Another way is to just take an almost identical listing, borrow some of the best elements of this listing itself, and then enhance the item and add more value to it. This is exactly what I'm going to be doing. First thing that you want to see is try to find as many mistakes as you can possibly find in this listing itself. First mistake I see here is them charging for shipping. I'm going to go and give it free shipping and just add it to the price itself. Next thing I'm going to be doing is making sure that my listing does not have almost any of the keywords that they're using. In fact, I want to take out all the bad keywords that they have and only use the ones that are very beneficial to boost my item in the search itself. The last thing I want to actually happen is for somebody who is searching for the same exact item to find their item and mine in the same exact search. And then of course they're going to be buying this item, which is my competitor item, and I don't want that to actually happen. So the first thing you want to do is to look at what kind of category it is selling, and they're posting it in this category. This is definitely not the category I want to use. Next, I'm looking for any mistakes that they have, including pictures, and we can already see one problem with the image itself. It is low quality image taken with a camera, and it looks like it might have been even Photoshop into it. It doesn't look good, and it doesn't give justice to the item that they're selling. In fact, I can even potentially buy this item from them and double up the amount of money I'm making. I can just buy it, take better pictures of it, enhance the listings, change the description, and then charge a higher price and get sales for it. That is a possibility, but since I already have this item, there is no need for me to actually go about and do this. Of course, they have more items for sale, and I would definitely go about and check their store out, because if they're making an issue with this item itself, and if they are not selling it at the correct price, they'll definitely are making more mistakes in the other listings as well, and I can definitely get more merchandise from them and potentially double or even triple my money. That's exactly the kind of seller that I want to do business with. A person who doesn't know how to sell on eBay, who is trying to maximize a few cents out of an item that's potentially could be worth a lot more money. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the item itself. Let's see what else we can find here that is totally messed up. So we have images that don't load up. That's definitely not the way to do business. If you have something like this, it doesn't look professional. Now we have, here is the description of the item itself, and here is the rest of it. It's all in blue, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with the description of the item. What is wrong is the rest of this. Why do they have this? There's no reason for them to have all this other junk here. There is just no reason for it. Who's gonna keep on reading the rest of this stuff? Although it might be important for them to say it, it is not important to the sale itself. It discourages buyers, it makes them read more than necessary, and you're trying to sell the product. You're not trying to sell your business here. Totally the wrong way for them to do this. Here is another thing. They accept returns within 40 days of receipt of the product, and they do accept returns, but who is going to ship it back or overseas, especially when the item itself since they are accepting returns, take a look at this. It cost $3. That's all you're going to get as a return. They're probably not going to return the money for the shipping because that's the shipping fee, and that's the reason they said returns are fine. But buyer pays return shipping, and they probably subtract the shipping fee out of this. But it is just not the right way to do business. So let's go into my listing itself and let's take a look at how I change the way it's written. I changed the words around. I think one of the things I haven't done is actually went about and edit the Holy Land together. That could be one word or it could be two words. There's two ways to go about this, and I'm not sure which one the engine on eBay is going to pick up on it. Especially when somebody goes in and tries to type in Holy Land, they could either type it as one word or they could type it as two words. Here is the category itself, and I kind of put it into the same category, and I shouldn't have done this. I should have went in and found a different category. So let me do this, browse different categories, and we're looking at collectibles, and then we're going into religion and spirituality. That's the next one. Then we're going into religion. Now, every single one of those religions, if you're selling something religious, you have to understand it's all about population. There is more Christians out there or Muslims in the whole world who are more interested in buying things versus some of the other religions that are pretty small. So if you're posting something that's religious, you want to make sure it is posted to the correct religion. Next thing you want to do is to make sure it is gonna go and stick out in its category. So what we have here, we have to look at every category. They're selling in this category, so you definitely don't want to sell it in the same category. And we could potentially put it in icons. Let's see if we have any better category out there. This looks like one of the best categories is either icons, or we can go and post it in other Christian collectibles. Let's try that. This looks like the biggest category out there. Next thing I'm going to be doing is putting it in the correct category in my eBay store. I have one that goes into the Holy Land, I have one that goes into Israel, and those are the potential two categories that are going to work the best with the item that I'm selling. Although this is Christianity, those are the two different categories that I think are going to be best working for the item that I'm selling. You want to make sure whatever item that you're selling, it actually matches in the store category. When somebody goes into my store, they're going to easily be able to find the item that I'm actually selling. The condition of it, make sure you put in new. And now when it comes to the pictures, take a look at my images. They're so much better than the other person. Let's take a look at his images. Look at the quality of the image right here versus the quality of my images, and think about which item are you more likely to buy. The better quality item that looks a lot better, or to buy their item that doesn't look this attractive. This definitely did enhance the listing already. Now there's a few editing tools you can actually use here. You can go about and make it more bright, which is good. You want to make it as bright as possible. There's other things that you could do here. So let's go into and take a look at them. You can go and use some of those other tools here, and with those different tools you can enhance the listing and make it even more attractive. And after you do it, make sure you press on save so it saves all your progress. That is the way you go about this. Another thing, you want to make sure the best image comes first. You don't want this image to be first. You want to put in the most attractive image as your first image for the listing itself. Next thing that we are doing here that's definitely going to enhance the item and make more sales for it is to make sure there's different kind of colors that we are using. Take a look at the different colors we have in the color plate here. We definitely want to use different colors because it makes the listing stand out more, makes the mood when somebody is buying it to be much more happy and more likely to buy it. Make sure you put a lot of description in the item itself, but make it short and to the point. Another thing I like to do when I'm selling something like this is to put an image of an item that I'm selling that has something to do with it, such as this image itself. So I went into Google, I typed in Holy Land, and I just got a random image that looks pretty good. By posting this image in the listing, it enhances the value of it. When somebody looks at it, they get a feeling. When I get a good feeling about the listing itself, I can go about and I can demand a higher price for my listing, which is going to be $12.98 versus the listing, which was almost half the price less. So my listing is higher quality, it looks better, and it's going to definitely generate better sale, and I'm going to get more money for almost an identical product. After I sell all my items that I have and I'm done, I only have 2 in stock, I'm gonna go back to this listing itself. I might buy one item and I'm gonna sell it again on my listing, just like that, and see if I can command a higher price. Now, another thing I could do here is potentially get a little greedy and sell it for even higher price, such as $15.98, and see if somebody jumps on it. If nobody jumps on it in the next week or 2, I can always roll it down and I can command the lower price until eventually the item is going to be sold. Remember, the lower price, the lower you go, the more likely the item is going to sell faster. If you want to get more money, you want to up the price, but it's going to take you a little longer for you to sell, and you have to do a lot more work when it comes to the listing description and the pictures of the item itself. The only thing that I'm missing that's definitely going to enhance my listing even further is a close-up image of every single one of those icons over there. So I'm going to go next and do this. I'm going to go and get a special camera lens, post it up there, and take a picture of every one of those icons close up and post it up here. And do you think it's gonna get sale after I do this? Of course it will. Can I get $15.98 for it? It is a very big possibility. So that's all you have to do when it comes to enhancing the value of your listing. And the bigger amount of enhancement that you make and the more time you post and spend on your listing itself, the more likely you will get more cash for it. And you only have to do this once. And after you do it once, you have to relist it again every time it sells. And you repeat the process for every other listing you have up